marijuana. Proponents of opening recreational marijuana sales say the city is depriving itself of needed taxes that surrounding cities are taking advantage of. Many opponents cite the high social costs to a community that allowing marijuana sales will bring. What is your positioning on opening the recreational sale of marijuana within Colorado Springs, and why? I'll give Wayne a break, and I'll start with you.
Athena Rowe. Well, first of all, I am adamantly opposed to recreational marijuana in our city. I have seen the numbers from the Center for Disease Control on the fact that it's one of the most addictive drugs that we have in our country, the psychological impact on developing minds as far as paranoia, suicidal ideation, depression. These are things that we simply do not need more of in our community. We want to have a healthy, thriving community. And the way, the medicinal marijuana already, I think, has probably been abused as well. I've spoken to some of the local physicians at the hospitals, and they said that they've seen overdoses. And that's not the recreational strains. These are the medicinal marijuana. So again, I'm adamantly opposed to any type of recreational marijuana in our city. Thank you.
So I run a nonprofit for youth, and marijuana goes against my values and my principles within my program. So I certainly am opposed to it too. However, I am for keeping revenue within our city, but we need to find more innovative ways to do that. So thank you.
Yeah, my name is Randy Tuck. Looks like I'm going to be the black sheep tonight. I happen to think that recreational cannabis should be approved for Colorado Springs, and I'll tell you why. Right now, Colorado Springs is experiencing a huge illegal market. We also have a situation where we have people that just thumb their nose at the law. They work in the gray area. So without revenues to fight that, it's really tough to make any progress in the positive for recreational cannabis. We also have a situation where we're losing about $20 million a year out of our city going to other people, Denver, Pueblo, in particular Manitou. And although I respect what was mentioned about all the detrimental things that are being called out for recreational, for cannabis in general, those are the same things that happen with people that abuse alcohol, painkillers, any other illegal drugs. But we have to really look at this logically, and that is that the money, the revenues that are coming from the recreational, or would come from the recreational market, would be a huge help for our city. And we've already got recreational here. It's in the form of illegal sales, illegal gifting, and we also have Manitou Springs over there where all the citizens that do take advantage of recreational cannabis go to Manitou and bring it right back to our city. So the only thing that we're not doing is taking advantage of the profits for our small business and our entrepreneurs, and also the revenues that would be there to help us fight, like to be used towards enforcement, help with safety, the homeless issue, and possibly our parks.
Thank you. Again, I'm Gordon Klingenschmidt. I've been a leader on this issue. When I was elected as a state legislator, twice rated the most conservative from our county, but I consistently voted no on marijuana bills. In fact, sometimes 64-1, I was the only no on some of these bills. And I'll tell you why. It's personal to me as a 20-year veteran in our military. America sends us their brightest and best 18 to 22-year-olds to the Air Force Academy, to Peterson Air Force Base, Fort Carson, and just one puff of a marijuana cigarette will get them less than honorably discharged from the military, ruin their career overnight. We don't need the tax money. In fact, we already have higher sales taxes, 8.25% here in Colorado Springs, higher than Denver, 7.65%. We don't have a tax problem, we have a spending problem with our budget. And I want to cut taxes, be more efficient, and finally, I have great compassion for the homeless. I think this exacerbates the problem, it doesn't solve it. Gordon Klingenschmidt, thank you.
Hi, Val Snyder. I made a career in the Air Force as a police officer, so you can probably guess where I'm going to come down on this. I am not for approving the retail sale of marijuana here in the city limits. When I was on active duty, I worked with young men, young women who you could tell were on the drug. I could tell because we could order drug tests, and I was never wrong. But I saw the effects of it day after day, morning, noon, and night. And this was with much lower THC levels than we have now. So there's not been the science done to see how this higher THC levels affects the brain for our youth. We don't even know how it affects people like me. But, so I am against it for retail sale here in the city limits.
Bill Murray, I'm the person who calls himself the pragmatist. All right? If I can ride my bicycle or even walk to a rec marijuana place, okay, I know there's social costs here. I spent my lifetime, or most of my lifetime, part of it as a paramedic in the city of Birmingham, Alabama. And our biggest issue was alcohol, and then opioids, and then marijuana. Okay, so what I'm asking you all to do is consider, okay, how are we going to pay the social costs of it being so close? My answer very specifically is to ask you. But what's important to me as an at-large member of this council is I ask all of you. And by putting it on the ballot, you all have an opportunity to discuss the issues. And of course, the cost of those issues. And that's what I'm talking about. Okay? Why is Manitou getting the money and we're paying the cost? And I want you to vote. Thank you.
Officer Dave, I get to see him at all of our city council meetings. I don't want him to tackle me, so I'll make this quick. As a 30-year veteran of the Air Force, I was a JAG. I started here at Peak Field. I later served for 5 years on the District 11 school board. So there are two reasons I don't think we should legalize recreational marijuana. And that doesn't, we've already got 125 medical marijuana. The first is our students. And our SRO officers, our school resource officers tell me all the time how marijuana availability, and the more stores we have, the more available it's going to be, how that affects our junior high, our middle school students, and our high school students. And I lose sleep about that every night. The other issue is I'm on the Military Affairs Committee today. And that Military Affairs Committee talks to commanders who do not want marijuana in this community any more than it currently is.
So I'm also an Army veteran, and I was a JAG paralegal, not a JAG, but that means I did all the paperwork to kick people out for smoking marijuana. So I saw a lot of it while I was in the Army. We obviously don't need to open the door to more of that for our military here, but there's a lot more industry here in the Springs right now than just the military that it hurts. We have DoD contractors that they're not allowed to use any. That's a huge segment of our economy. We have drivers, delivery drivers, that if they come up hot on a drug test, they lose their jobs. That's a huge part of our industry here in the city. The economic cost to us is just way too high to open the door to more marijuana in our city. So I would vote against putting it on the ballot. That being said, if a citizen-led thing came forward to put it on the ballot, then it would be the decision of all of you. And I think that would fail spectacularly if it went to a vote of the people.
I would not support council putting it on the ballot. I do support the people's right to petition, and there's a process for that. Let me just add one thing to a lot of things that have been said already. My name is Wayne Williams. I've been back to DC on a number of occasions with our chamber and other groups, visiting with people at the Pentagon, encouraging them to bring bases or missions or troops here to our community to help our economy. Folks, this is not something we want to saddle ourselves with when we are competing with other places for wherever Space Command might wind up, if it becomes the Space Force. So we need to make sure that we continue to be a place that is desirable for the men and women who serve our country to serve. Thank you. My name is Wayne Williams.
Good job.